Welcome to our presentation today on the CitiXsys Knowledge Portal, what's new. So today's presentation is on CitiXsys Knowledge Portal, what's new and coming soon. So the CitiXsys Knowledge Portal has been around now for a few years, and we think it's a great resource that we offer to our clients and our partners. The portal aims to connect and interact with users, enables you to collaborate, share ideas, seek answers to your questions and solve problems. From our CKP, you can post a question on our forum, view our extensive library of documentation. We have a knowledge base, articles to supplement our documentation as well. We have a large library of e-learning videos, and part of today's topic is to talk about our new program on that, to share with you what our new initiatives are on that, and I'll present to you a sample of that video presentation as well. So you can download software from our downloads page. You can set certification in our programs, and I'll talk a little bit about what new certification programs we've got that we've recently launched and what's also around the corner as far as that is concerned. And we'll also have a little bit of a session today on one of our new exciting initiatives is what we call the iVend Café, which is our revamp of our community page. So in the agenda, we have a little bit of a quick look about some initiatives for rejuvenating the homepage, to updating the community page, as I just mentioned, introducing the iVend Café, new certification program, updating the e-learning, improving the search engine. So this is a great new initiative, and doing a lot of work on improving the search engine. I'll have a bit of a talk about that. And at the end of the session, we'll talk about the new partner kit, resource kit. So that's more of a special extra that we offer for our partners. So we've left that to the end because that really is a feature set that is relevant more to just our partners. When we talk about rejuvenating the homepage, I think we feel that the homepage we come to, and we've got some banners and we've got some highlights on new features and what have you, but we sort of feel that there's a little bit more we could be doing with that, with the homepage, just to sort of make people that are visiting our portal a little bit more aware of what some of the new features and upcoming events and what have you could be publicized a little bit better than what we do currently on the homepage. So things that we'll see are some more links advising you about new content that's available on the portal. So you'll see some pushes on things like our retail highlights, articles that you can find on other social media sites such as LinkedIn and what have you. You'll see more of a highlight on our cafe, on the iVend Café. You'll see some more dynamic content like video interviews and upcoming events and new additional features in the software. So what's new, what can be achieved with extensibility, such as our optical solution. So those are the sorts of things that we'll be trying to highlight a little bit more on our homepage. We'll actually have a quick look at that just to sort of point out some of the areas that you'll see sort of coming up in the near future. So one of the big new initiatives is introducing the iVend Café, the new community page. It's not a highly used page at the moment. So what we're introducing is the iVend Café. This is a little bit of a proof of concept page, and not sort of saying the finished page will not necessarily look exactly like this, but it's more to highlight some of the content that we're going to see on there. So the look and feel may be a little bit different to this, but this is the idea that we're sort of aiming for. So we issue each week the iVend Knowledge Digest. It's a weekly publication and really only sort of sent out to those people that sort of are registering on the community page. So we sort of thought that it would be a good idea to actually have the publication, the newsletter, published on the community page each week. So each time that you come into the cafe, you'll be able to see the latest digest there that you can click on and download. We'll have some dynamic hyperlinks here, so if you are wanting to look at a particular feature on the digest, you'll be able to click on one of these links that we see here that will take you to a specific area of interest that you see on the digest. So we know at the moment the digest has things like upcoming events, our webinars for the next month, latest articles, latest feature sets, and some forum posts, the most interactive users on the forum and so forth. The registration for the page will now be in a much more visible that you can join the cafe. So rather than just registering for content like the forum posts and knowledge base, there's different areas within the CKP that you can register for feeds from. The community page has also got its own registration where you can, what we're going to call it is join the cafe. So for content that's directly delivered on the community page. So you can subscribe for content to be sent to you from here. So it's not just subscribing and registering for the newsletter, it's also will be to register for feeds for content that's been posted on here. So certainly each week there'll be fresh content on here as far as the digest is concerned, but we'll be looking to update other content on here on a monthly basis as the initial target. So the sorts of things that we'll see on here, what's new on the menu, so we'll be looking at including retail insights, marketing muses, what we're going to refer to as the sous chef blog. So we've got a team of from our development and new products areas that will be writing blogs on the latest features and interesting articles around what's coming in our product. So there'll be a blog there that you can subscribe to. Latest product brochures, so down the bottom here, producing brochures. We'll sort of rotate these brochures around at the moment. We've got a new brochure coming out on passes, for instance. So those are the sorts of things that you'll see. A new article, a new brochure, those are the sorts of things that you'll see being rotated on here on a regular basis. What we also see, we often promote on the homepage, we see upcoming events, but what we sort of thought we'd do is extend that further to not just promoting upcoming events, but also giving you some news or a review on events that we've had. So events and review will be a new initiative. It might be something like a video interview from the event. Those are the sorts of things. We'll be sort of giving some feedback on the events themselves. Another initiative we're looking at the moment is we produce a lot of instructional e-learning videos on how to set up and configure the software, how to use certain features, but not really the why, not really promotional type presentations on our solutions. So we have done some sort of like around omnichannel and what have you, but we sort of thought it would be nice to actually have what we're going to call sales vibes, which are smaller snapshot type presentations, if you like, on just certain features. So things like our dashboards, for instance. So we'd have a sales vibe presentation on that. We might have something on the new POS designer, on iVend loyalty or iVend passes, for instance. And so they'll be very targeted sales, more salesy, promotional type video presentations that will be available, and we'll be rotating them. So other things that you'll see, promoting some of our extensibility solutions like our recent solution development for the optical retail market, and we'll have regular interviews. Things like what we see here as an example is a word from our CEO, muses from our marketing executive Manish, and some other key people in the organisation. And perhaps even we'll extend that to interviewing some of our vibrant partners to get their insights into retail and iVend and what have you. So we'll have these sorts of more dynamic content appearing here on a fairly regular basis. So it's a nice new initiative, an exciting initiative, gives a little bit more dynamic and exciting content to the portal. So we'll have a different look and feel to the other pages that you'll see on the portal, and that's to drive a little bit of a different, sort of a more of a social community environment. So new certification programs is the next topic, and after I've gone through the slide presentation, we'll actually go on to the CitiXsys Knowledge Portal. I'll refer to it as the CKP for the rest of the presentation, and just look at some of the changes that we've already put in, and just to point out some of the areas that we're going to be concentrating on. So what have we got in certifications at the moment? We've got a new implementation. The examinations have been completely rewritten and revamped in recent times over the last 2 to 3 months. The two main certifications that were there previously were what we referred to as sales, which we've now rebadged and calling it pre-sales. We've introduced more of a phase 1 and phase 2 approach to the implementation certification examinations. So we see now that the phase 1 and the pre-sales are more what we would class as the entry to intermediate level certifications. So these certifications are more for we would expect our partners to participate in. We are working and will be soon launching what we consider more of a sales-orientated certification with the focus on things like licensing and more of an overview of our products rather than the pre-sales certification. So there's a clear differentiation between the two types of certification exams. Now there'll be an expectation that these will be completed within a certain time frame upon signing up as a partner with CitiXsys to our iVend Retail Products and Solutions, and that will be in our partner guide. So within a certain period of time of signing up, you would be expected to have attained the sales and pre-sales and implementation phase 1. Some of the more advanced certifications, we would allow a greater time frame before we would expect these to be completed. So the phase 2 implementation certification is a much more advanced exam and has got a focus more around reviewing a client's requirements document to put forward like a blueprint to the client on how iVend will meet their business needs. So it's a much more in-depth examination. Then we have what we're also working on. We do already have the e-commerce certification exam, but we've actually just also gone through and rewritten that and added additional content to that certification. We're working at the moment, in the works is the developer certification. So that developer certification will be testing around the more advanced features like the report designers, the dashboard designers, a receipt designer, extensibility, the APIs and things like that. We'll see some overlap, of course, in some of the other products such as our new POS designer, although POS designer has been designed in such a way that it's easy to pick up and very intuitive to use, so it's not necessarily expected that only admin people would be able to use that feature, but still we consider those to be more advanced features, so we'll see certification around those areas. The other certification that we're looking at to be introducing, this would be probably the target for this would be by the end of the next quarter that we would have a certification for support consultants. So that's support services for our partners that will be offering support services at level 1, level 2. So we'll have a certification for support consultants on that. This final area down the bottom here that we're referring to is what we call iVend University for clients. So these are 3 certifications that will be available for clients, and the idea behind these is that when we offer, whether it's direct from CitiXsys services or through partner training, so that we're talking more about the classroom training. When a client undertakes to do iVend training in our retail solutions, we will be offering a certification to the retail business owners for those staff members that attend the training. Some of our training courses, classroom-based training courses, some of them are like a day, and some of the more implementation type training can be as much as 5 days. So it's a way of offering a surety to the business owner that if they're going to invest in the classroom training, that we're going to offer a certification to their staff. You can see here we've got a sales associate, a store manager, and an administration. So there'll be 3 different types of certification. And this is giving that surety to the business owner that their staff have completed the training and have a good understanding of what they've learned. So we're offering that as a service to be included with any training that they invest in. So a big program at the moment is that we're working through, and I'll bring up a little example of one of the initiatives that we're introducing with the e-learning. We're going through this big program at the moment. Some of our e-learning has become a little bit dated. Some of the recordings are now a few years old. So we've realized that some of these, our functionality has grown and improved and broadened. We've embarked on a program that we've been working on over the last couple of months, and we envisage that by the end of March, early April, we will have a lot of the, certainly a lot of the older videos will have been re-recorded to bring them up to date with current functionality and the current look and feel of the product. So they're certainly going to have a new look and feel. We're also introducing more of an interactive component in the videos, e-learning videos that you'll see on our Knowledge Portal. So you'll still be able to access these videos via sites like Vimeo, and there will also be a selection always available on YouTube. But the videos that you'll be able to access on our Knowledge Portal on our iVend page will be more interactive. So what do we mean by that? We mean that there will be a quiz to test your knowledge on what you've viewed in that particular video. So at the end, we're going to be offering a little test your knowledge. It'll be an anonymous test that you can sit at the end of each video So you don't have to put your email address in, so you can watch the video and then just test your knowledge on what you've actually seen in that presentation. So I'll bring that up shortly after we finish the slides, just to show you what that's actually going to look like. So we've got 2 phases in this e-learning update. We're working through phase 1 at the moment, and like I said, that should be completed by where we're targeting the end of March. It's likely to be end of March or just within the first 1 or 2 weeks of April. We'll have that phase 1 of the e-learn updated. Then phase 2 is to then go through the more current that have been recorded perhaps in the last year to 2 years, and that's mainly to make sure that we've gone through all the e-learning that's available. We'll be introducing some new topics as well, but making sure that everything's in the same format, the same look and feel, and everything will have an interactive quiz. So all the e-learning that will be available on the CKP, on our e-learning pages, most of it will have an interactive little quiz at the end to test your knowledge. And we're talking about 3 or 4 questions only, multiple choice, true, false type questions, just to extend you a little bit to see whether you're sort of taken in what you've watched. So one of the great things that we're also looking at, we've sort of realized that our search engine on the CKP could be a little bit more intuitive, could be a little bit more intelligent in its search capabilities. So we're going to be introducing a new filter, search by key area. So a lot of sites, like we see, the best analogy I can think of here is you go onto a site like Amazon UK, Amazon.com rather, and the main search at the top of the screen has the ability to drop down and select narrow your search. So by default it searches all departments, but you can narrow it down. So if you want to just look at documentation, for instance, or if you just want to search on e-learning, or if you just want to search the knowledge base or the forums, from the main search field, and it'll be much more prominent at the top of the screen, you'll be able to narrow your search with a predefined filter. So that's going to be a nice feature to add to it. Any secondary page search will be improved to focus on the latest content and the content that's relevant to that page. Search criteria will be improved to look at the major document. So by title, looking at documentation, so our user guides, our help guides, easy start guides, user manuals, they will be the focus of the search first, and it will search by the title. Then we'll look at things like the e-learning, knowledge base articles, etc. So then it will look down at the minor content but focus on the major content first. So a little bit of an improvement will be searching by the whole phrase entered into the search rather than what tends to happen at the moment. It looks at the individual keywords. So when you type in something like mobile POS, it will return something where those 2 words appear together so that you're not having to put in double quotes around things. It will, the focus for search will be on what you've actually keyed in as a phrase rather than what tends to happen at the moment is individual words. We'll finish off by just having a look at the partner kit page at the end. So that's our new partner resource kit has actually been launched already. We've improved the categorization and organization of the content into what we call multi-level expanding folders. What we have also done is we've made a better, clearer classification of the content into sales and implementation roles, and we've placed that at the top of the page now, as we see here. So at the moment we've got a sales content and implementation content, and we will eventually also introduce another tab here for content geared more towards pre-sales as well. So important links now, we've summarized them into the left-hand search panel on the side here, and you'll see that some of them have also now got a little arrow where we've actually grouped content in an easier, more intuitive way under subheadings. And I think you'll sort of see now also that summarizing things in this way, we've got a better, very quick glance with only minor scrolling down the page do we actually see the main content all grouped together. This is improved by just sort of at a glance you'll actually see what's available on this portal. So we've also improved links to highlight the links for certification and key contacts, and on a regular basis we'll actually have a key video presentation here as well, and this will be rotated around. So things like what's new and most recent enhancements, those sorts of video presentations, there'll be a key video that we've introduced to this. That completes the slide presentation. So we'll just start with the home page. So the aim will be to just do a little bit more better reorganization of some of the content up the top, but it's mainly the content that we're aiming to revitalize a little bit is down the bottom part. I think I think it's a little bit flat. We sort of looked at it and we sort of feel that it is a little bit flat, a little bit uninteresting. We're going to look at making some of this content a little bit more dynamic and interesting here. And one of the other things here is up the top here on the right-hand side, we're looking to sort of just make some of these links a little bit more current and relevant. So rather than start here, we're looking to change this to be, we recommend, latest, what's just been added, that sort of content. So it's going to be sort of making you much more aware, where we're going to see not just upcoming events, but a review of a recent event as well. So those are the sorts of some of the new sort of initiatives that we're looking at, just making this a little bit more dynamic and interesting when you actually arrive at the home page, and making you a bit more aware of what's available elsewhere in the portal. So one of the things that we'll just come to actually have a bit of a look at, the e-learning. Like I said, we're doing a lot of work on the e-learning at the moment, and we're going to do a little bit of work here on reorganizing the topics. So what we actually saw on the slide for the partner kit page, we're going to look at doing a similar thing here, because at the moment some of the categories are actually becoming quite large. We've got quite a significant library of videos, and it really is becoming, under some of the headings, becoming quite a lengthy list. So we feel that this could be better organized. We're introducing chapters so that this will better organize into a more logical or chronological order of topics, meaning that the intention would be that you would start at the top and you would work your way down on the list. So we're going to try looking at improving what we recommend you look at first. So we want to better organize the content on here to make it a little bit easier to navigate around and find the topics that you're looking for. While we're on the e-learning, as I will just bring up as an example of that, you'll see that the e-learning has been stamped with the year, and we're going to sort of follow that for a little while, because we want to push the fact that we've actually updated this e-learning. So you'll know by the fact that the slides are very much more current, you'll sort of know that this is a fresh or new presentation. So the other thing, besides just the look and feel, is that we'll be looking at the current release of the product, but the main key component we're introducing is right at the end here. So we're introducing this test your knowledge at the end, and you'll be able to do this anonymously. We won't be asking for email addresses or anything like that. So you'll just have a series of questions that you'll go through. I'm just going to click any of these answers. I'm not looking really at the question because I just want to quickly flick through them. So you'll see that some of them are multi-choice, some of them are just true-false. That's the extent of what they'll be. And then you can submit your answers, and you'll be able to view them, your answers, to see how you went. And you can see here I only got one correct. It gives me my results, and then I can just flick through. It will tell you what the correct answer was, so you'll actually get that little bit of instant feedback on why you actually went wrong, or if you hopefully got them all right. So, and then you can just continue on. Let's go back to the CKP. That was the e-learning, so we're just going to have a quick look at the certification page. So at the moment, like I said, we've done a bit of work here on the certification page. The ones that are available here have all been rewritten, and they've had new content added to them. We've done a rigorous sort of proofing of these to make sure that the questions in there are a lot clearer and be made a lot fairer, and these are all pretty much up to date. You shouldn't see any questions there that aren't in line with the current functionality. We also have our Spanish versions. All the new e-learning and certifications will also have Spanish versions produced as well. So like I said, we've got at the moment, we've got our pre-sales available, phase 1 and phase 2, e-commerce, and we'll be shortly introducing sales and developer, and then down the line a little bit we'll be also looking at the support certification and the university certifications. So upon completing the certification, at the end you will get an initial result. The phase 2 certification though, however, has a secondary review. So you may get an initial result where you might even perhaps see that you've not passed, but after the secondary review on the questions, because there are some essay questions in there, there are some like fill in the blank type questions that do require someone to actually do a secondary review. Also, the questions are very in-depth and extensive, and the way the program works is they're really 100% yes, you got the answer right, or 100% no. So we do look at your answers and we sort of say we can evaluate whether you sort of did get most of the question correct with your answers, because the multiple choice in this exam is more than one answer could be correct, and it's requiring you to select more than one answer to get the question 100% right. So you will get a secondary review, so whereas you might not pass when you initially complete it, after the secondary review you might find that you've actually passed it. So the initial score would definitely not be the last score that you see. And we're trying to do that secondary review within the week to 2 weeks of you sitting the exam, so you'd expect your secondary result to come through fairly quickly. So the last thing that we were going to have a look at was the partner kit. So this is a little something extra for our partners. So this is the last topic. So we did present this in the slide, but we thought we would just come here and show the actual screen. The documents that we promote here, the e-learning, of course, is available to clients as well. But for our partners, we try to put everything on one location. So we actually haven't put all the content that you can find elsewhere on here, but it's the key content or the most significant content that we think that you should be having a look at first. So the idea is here, for instance, when we say, you know, we recommend you look at these videos, it's not the entire library of videos. So if you're looking for an e-learning topic on a particular feature, have a look here first, of course, because this is probably the page that our partners probably come to first. But you may find that, for instance, if you're looking for e-learning on e-commerce, you won't find it necessarily here on the partner kit page, but you will find it on the e-learning pages or the extensibility page as well. We've got videos around the report designers, for instance, that you won't necessarily find here. So there is a lot more content, but it's what we class as the key content, or what we would recommend be the content that you look at first as a partner, is what you're going to find on this page. So like we said, up the top here you've got the sales content, you've got these expanding and collapsing folder levels that we've got here. So, you know, click on that, it collapses it, click the plus and it expands the content. We've done a lot of work also into categorizing the topics into main topics, so that we're giving a little bit more logic and chronological order to the video presentations that you see there. Okay, I'll just click on the Implementation Consultants tab quickly. You can see for Implementation Consultants there's quite a lot more content that we see for them, and also the videos, for instance, there's a much bigger library of videos, but once again not the full list. So have a look here first, because these would be the key videos that we recommend you look at first, and then look for additional topics. The key documents, user guides, for instance, the key user guides that we see here, the hardware software specification guides, things like that we are giving you links for. Once again, the documentation like the e-learning is not the extensive library of what's available. There's going to be a lot more available if you go to the document store, if you go to the e-learning pages, things like that. Well, that really does pretty much finish the presentation today. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you next time through our extensive webinar program. Thank you.